went and decided to sew it up with my thumb. And the blood in the sky chased the river till the river did run. And you said concentrate on the sunlight. Concentrate on me. We were sitting in our chairs with wrinkled skin and false teeth and short gray hairs that would float around the room till they lit in the light of the window. We were reading each other's books, loving the love and how long it took to grow up into big strong men that could blow down a house and then build it up again. That could know I love you. It's the best way to break a silence. That could learn to be birds and leave into the wind, into the wind. Before the leaves start to grow, let's climb a tree in our raincoats and concentrate on the sunlight. Concentrate on the sunlight. Concentrate on the sunlight.
Yeah, very nice, Trevor. Tell us about that song. That's an original.
Yeah, it's called Sunlight, and it's definitely a love song, and it started out about somebody specific, but you know, after time goes on, it's just about whoever you fancy.
Yeah.
And it really more stems from selfishness because I always lived in apartments with really bad natural light, and that's a terrible, terrible thing. Sunlight is really important.
It is.
It makes the difference in whether your relationships work or not, I think.
You know, I would not doubt that at all. Not one bit. There's something out there that people may have heard of called sun gazing. Have you heard of that? Folks they call them sun eaters.
Oh, wow.
And actually, it's a practice that's been going on for many, many years. I guess it started in India with a lot of the gurus type people that meditate all the time. And you follow this methodology and you stare at the sun for a couple of times a day at certain times when it's safe to do so and it won't fry your eyes.
Oh, you actually look directly at it?
Actually look directly at it at dawn and at dusk.
Do you get sunglasses?
No, I haven't tried it, but I know some people who are doing it. And anyway, eventually, supposedly, you're able to get all your nutrition from the sun itself.
Huh.
And NASA's been studying a couple of guys, I guess, from India that have been practicing this for a long time, and they rarely ever eat. Huh. Occasionally, they'll drink buttermilk or something like that. But
well, that's unfortunate because Indian is my favorite type of food.
I know. I would not give up my eating, but I do love the sun and spend probably too much time in it, but it doesn't seem to hurt me. So anyhow. Yeah, we spent some time in the sun together on Sunday. Trevor DeCuir is also a member of the Mighty Con crew, and
That's right.
helps put on the Mighty Kindness Festival that used to be twice a year, and this time we've gotten so big it's only going to be once a year now.
Yeah, we've got some big britches to fit into now. So
yeah, and that festival will happen again sometime around Earth Day. I don't think we've got a date set yet, but
not yet, no.
folks want to keep their eyes nose to Facebook. We'll be announcing that when we know, and that'll be probably coming up soon. You'll start hearing about Mighty Kindness. And Trevor, also, if folks have ever heard of Church on the Rocks, you may have seen Trevor around there. If you haven't been to Mighty Kindness, he also frequents Church on the Rocks, which is the open stage for the sage up at the Monkey Wrench. Every Sunday night, the Troubadours of Divine Bliss started up at the Hideaway some time ago, and
about 7 years now it's been going.
7 years, wow.
7 great years.
Yeah.
Lots of really awesome people have come through.
It's an amazing, it's an amazing open mic. If you've not been, I highly recommend it. Some incredible talent has come through those rooms and moved on to bigger and better venues, I guess. But it's amazing how many of the people that have really taken off come back.
Mm-hmm.
They come back to church, and it's a great time. So if you want to catch Trevor live, you can usually catch him down there on Sunday evenings. And that's about the only place I know of that you play.
I do have a show coming up with actually Katie Renee.
Awesome, and Rebecca Osborne.
And then I'm terrible, but it's not that I don't remember this man's name, but I haven't learned it yet. So I'm playing a show with a stranger from New Orleans.
Oh, cool.
And so it should be a fun thing. It'll be at the Rudyard Kipling, and I'm going to say September 28th, but don't believe everything I say. It's definitely the Rud, but I don't know about the date.
Well, again, keep your nose to Facebook, and I will share that out there for folks that are interested. Where and when are you playing with Katie and Rebecca?
Oh, that's the show.
Oh, that's the show.
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
They invited me to. Well, I asked Katie Renee if she wanted to play a show, and so I just piggybacked onto this thing.
Awesome. That's great, and they'll be on here in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So Trevor DeCuir is my guest this evening here on the Homegrown Radio Hour, and a very talented guy. He's got a lot of original music and does a lot of covers that I don't normally like to hear, but when Trevor does them, he does them well and he does them justice. But let's hear some more music.
All right. This is called Mary Jo. Fall's coming in, insects are crawling onto the wood out of the garden. The sun is setting, a peach gently rocking in the sky. Mary Jo, birds are singing your name. Mary Jo, they alight on branches aflame. Rain's coming down into the garden out of the sky. And it's falling, clouds are rolling in like the crown before the shower. Mary birds are singing your name. Mary Jo, they light on branches of flame. Birds are singing your name. Mary Jo, they light on branches of flame.
Yeah, Trevor DeCuir here with me on the Homegrown Radio Hour live on Crescent Hill Radio. That's another original song.
Yep.
Yeah. I've heard you do that one before.
Yeah, that one it came from my grandmother. Was this really awesome, tough as nails kind of person, but very sensitive side to her as well. And she passed away in 2007. And when that happened, my mother went digging and found all this poetry that she kind of had hidden away. And you know, you would look at her and you could tell she had stories, but I think to be that vulnerable was something that she felt like she wasn't allowed to do. She raised 5 kids and lived a pretty tough life and got through on her own and did a lot of good things for a lot of people. And so yeah, like I said, to be that vulnerable was something that I don't think she felt like she was allowed to do in public. And so
she kept her writing a secret, kind of.
I think so. And so they went digging, and my mom found all this and put together a collection of her poetry into a little booklet that we got at the service.
Oh, wow.
And there was all these themes in her poetry that were similar to things that I was turning over in my head at the time. And so I just sat down one day in my house that I was living in at the time, and the fall was coming in, and I opened the door, and the breeze was coming through, and all these birds were just singing away up in the trees, and all the colors were changing, and that's just kind of what came out.
Your music, like your poetry, is very visual, and I like that a whole lot. Love that. And your guitar style is different. It's unique, and you don't use a pick.
No.
And I've never seen you use a pick.
It's dangerous.
That's the way I am. I just, you don't want me to use a pick.
You'll end up with a pick in your eye.
But you get a really nice tone out of the guitar.
Thank you.
I like that a lot. How long have you been playing and writing?
I've been playing guitar since I was probably 14, 13. I can't even remember my first guitar. I've sold a couple of them for rent over the years, but
yeah.
My mom took me and signed me up for a few lessons, and out at Music Go Round years ago, and Tim out there was my teacher, my first teacher. And he said, "What do you want to play?" And I said, "Ani DeFranco. That's what I want to be, Ani DeFranco." And so he was like, "Okay." We'll work with that. And
so did you learn a lot of weird tunings right off the bat?
Oh yeah. I went to my month worth of lessons that were paid for, and maybe a few more, I don't know. And then I said, "Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go and try to figure out this all on my own." And so that set me back about 8 years. But you know, it was a lot of fun. I know. when I got out of high school, I had the opportunity. I used to play trumpet, and I had the opportunity to go to music school in college, and I decided I didn't want to do that either because I feel like, and don't let kids trying to go into music school let this dissuade you, but like I felt like it was gonna teach me someone else's way, and I just wanted to figure out my path.
Right.
So.
Well, I'm glad you didn't do that. I think I heard you playing on the trumpet the other day, maybe, and I like trumpet, but I love your voice, and if you play trumpet, you can't sing.
No, you can't. Well, I mean, there are people who do it, you know, in between.
Kinda.
But yeah, trumpet for me was more just rote, trying to, you know, learn music.
Yeah.
Like just read the notes and play them, and I couldn't be creative with that.
Yeah.
Singing though, I don't know, that took a long time to get to.
Yeah, you when I first started listening to you probably 7 years ago at the Hideaway, your voice was kind of timid, and that is gone now.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful voice, Trevor.
Well,
very
thank you.
dynamic and really nice range.
Thanks.
Did you ever sing in choir or anything like that?
No. I grew up in barbershop music here in Louisville. My grandmother started the Sweet Adelines chapter here.
Oh, okay.
And my grandfather, both on my mom's side, he started the Louisville Men's Thoroughbreds chorus.
Wow.
And I have two uncles on my mom's side who were in Bluegrass Student Union, which was a big quartet here. And they were in the chorus as well. But no, I grew up going to those practices, but I never... There's a song that they used to sing in the Thoroughbred chorus that will never, ever leave my head. Billy Dick, it's a song Bette Midler covers, and it's just... it's up there.
I think I know the tune. That's funny. Well, that reminds me that you also have a theatrical side to you, and maybe that's partly where that came from, with barbershop quartets are certainly a bit on the theatrical side,
Yeah.
at least the ones I've seen. Now, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but first let's hear some more.
Okay. I think it's time for a cover.
Time for a cover?
Yeah.
And you are listening to Trevor DeCuir here with me on the Homegrown Radio Hour live on Crescent Hill Radio. We are a 501c3 nonprofit community radio station, and we do depend on your support. If you would like to become a member of Crescent Hill Radio, you can do so today for only $25 a year. And if you just visit our website at crescenthillradio.com, you'll see ways you can join the crowd and support this great local music and programming that we bring you every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And $25 a year to do that, you can't beat it. So check us out on crescenthillradio.com. And here is Trevor DeCuir with me live on the Homegrown Radio Hour.
Oh, were we lost together? You know we were. Side by side, losing everything. From the garden in your head, I would like to get some rest, so the kids no longer have hear us fighting. And oh, what the funny thing is, what I thought that this was for, making love and making more beautiful babies. I never thought I'd look back and see what what I did not have to give, and just what they didn't get, those beautiful babies. Oh, oh. Oh, were we lost together? You know we were. Side by side, losing everything. We were just a pair of kids. Oh, the stupid things we did. In the madness they were calling the revolution. And oh, the funny thing is, what I thought that this was for, making love and making more beautiful babies. I never thought I'd look back and see how we left them at our door, with their eyes so full of war. That was our family. Oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh.
Yeah, wow. I love the way you do that.
Thank you, thank you.
I did not even recognize the song until a little bit into it.
That's a Frazee Ford song.
Frazee Ford, yeah.
Originally from the Be Good Tanyas.
Yeah, she's an awesome songwriter.
Oh, yeah.
Now she's broken out on her own now. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Slayton's, they're gone now, unfortunately. Right.
We love you. Come back.
But their very first show was Frazee Ford.
Is that right?
And I skipped out on Church on the Rocks to go see her that night, because that was just the most exciting thing I'd heard in a long time that came through Louisville. And she had on a little pillbox hat with some lace in the front and this striped dress, and she had her little PBR. It was just enchanting.
So do the Be Good Tanyas exist anymore?
They do, in a way. They don't really play too often. I think they stick close to home if they do.
Yeah, you and I have very similar taste in music, if not identical. And I know you're also a big Patty Griffin fan, and we're both peeing our pants because she's going to be here in October. October 15th, I think, at the Brown Theater, which is one of my favorite venues. The acoustics in there are really, really nice.
I've never seen a show in there. So.
You cannot. There's not a bad seat in the house, really. It's
that's good, because I don't think I'm gonna get a good one.
Oh, you never know. You never know. You know, if I was you, I would just wait. Somebody will buy you a ticket if they haven't already.
Do it.
So yeah, I'm excited about that, and that we were talking earlier how much great music is coming through town in October. What's that about? Abigail Washburn and Bea Fleck.
Well, you know what it is I have a bunch of friends that are going down to New Orleans for Voodoo Fest, and there's always just a ton of amazing musicians down there. But something is saying, Trevor, you need to save some money and stay in town.
So they're coming to you.
Right.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I'm thrilled that Patty's coming back, and especially in the Brown. So much better than seeing her up there on that place on Lexington Road that I won't mention.
Oh, I was close enough, though. Nick Payne was throwing a fit that night.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. And nothing, I'm not saying anything bad about the place. I love what they do and all the great people they bring, but it's just nice to see a show, somebody as good as her, and a nice quality venue like the Brown, where the acoustics are so good.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a nice little theater. And Abigail Washburn, who's one of my very, very favorites.
Oh, yeah, that last record was fantastic,
She
too.
just blows my mind. I mean, Laura Shine did a replay of a show that she recorded with her last year. She did it not too long ago. And I could listen to that interview over and over and over again. It's just, she's an amazing person. If you haven't heard of Abigail Washburn, check her out.
Yes.
And Trevor DeCuir, if you haven't heard of Trevor, check him out. He's got some shows coming up sometime. Did you say November?
End of September.
End of September, okay. At the Rudd.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be with Griffeytown, which is Katie Renee and Rebecca Osborne, who'll be in here in the studio with me, I think, on September 4th. And that'll be a real treat. So, Trevor, I mentioned that you've got a little bit of a theatrical bent to you as well. And we were talking a little bit about back in the day when Lizzie West came storming through town and swept some folks off their feet, and the Troubadours also were involved, and you all came together and created something that was really beautiful. You want to tell folks about that?
Oh, yeah. First of all,
I'd love to see that done again.
I would too, I think, and it would be a totally different thing this time. So Lizzie West, first off, if you don't know, is just fantastic. She's a tumbleweed of a musician, quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
And she's raising a beautiful little girl with her husband. I think they're in New York now. I don't know. They're always moving around.
Hard to keep up with them, huh?
But she came through town and was just this force of nature. And we connected in a really deep, intimate way. And all of a sudden, I was in the middle of this just whirlwind of a show called The Dream Revival. And it had Amy Smiley and Renee Ananda, Nick Payne, Jackson Renfro, Krian Hetty, Greta Oswald was in there. If I'm forgetting anybody, I'm so sorry. There were so many people that came together to make heaven.
A lot of people played a part, even the audience was involved in.
And it was just this thing about coming up out of darkness and reviving your dream and doing what you want to do. And
all of you wrote the pieces together, or you all contributed?
Yeah, we all had these separate pieces, and the show was partially scripted and partially improv, so every time it was just a different thing. And
it was a mix of musical, spoken word theater.
Yeah.
It was very magical, and I saw it up at the Rudd. Wow, I'll never forget that night. I'll never forget that.
I think
it was amazing, and I would give anything to see that again.
Oh, Angie was in there too, and I think she has a video of it somewhere.
I was just gonna say, I think Angie or Pam, one of them.
It was definitely Angie. Angie was
okay.
in the first.
We've got to get our hands on that video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was magic.
Yeah, even the music. I mean, the whole thing was amazing, and yeah, that would be cool if it could be reproduced. I don't know if it's reproducible, though.
I don't think so. Like I said, it'd be something totally different. We're all in very different places in our lives, so even the theme of it would be quite a bit different.
Yeah, but it was a moment. It's a moment I'll never forget. Very creative people around Louisville, Kentucky, and Crescent Hill Radio does work very, very hard to bring some of this creativity out to the airwaves and to the internet radio listeners. And we're always looking for ideas and new contributions. So if you have an idea for programming, or you know of someone who you really think needs to be on the air, just reach out to Crescent Hill Radio. Our contact information is all over the website at crescenthillradio.com. We also do a trolley hop concert on the lawn during the summer and fall months, and that's going to be coming up here the last Friday of this month. And that's a really fun event. The trolley hop on the Avenue, I think is what they're calling it now, is a big block party along Frankfurt Avenue. Basically, the businesses open their doors and they give away wine and stuff, and people walk down the streets, and everybody's got musicians playing in front of their places. And so we join in and we bring you some of our favorite musicians. And that show usually gets started around 7 o'clock. We will have food trucks again this month. And I believe on the venue, Kathy, help me out here, it's Tall Squares this time, and who else? So, and that'll be Friday's Adventure, Tall Squares and Adventure on Friday, August 20, whatever that last Friday of the month is. And anyway, it's a blast. So if you want to come down and see what these folks look like that you hear coming from the air chair here, come on down and join us. Bring a blanket, bring your kids, you can bring a picnic basket, or you can eat from the food trucks. And it's a lot of fun, so we always hope to see you on Trolley Hop. And then the September Trolley Hop will be Small Time Napoleon and How Robot. So that is going to be a really fun show, and that'll be the last Friday of the month in September. It is not a rain or shine event, unfortunately, so if the weather is bad, we won't be doing it. So just try us next time, but hopefully that's not going to happen.
You need a big umbrella.
A big umbrella, that's right. So, yes, I am your host, Christy Bird Stevens, and I've got my good friend Trevor DeCuir here with me in the studio, and we've got time for a couple more songs. Trevor, you got it in you?
Yeah.
What you got for us?
All right, so this is an original. It's a different kind of structure than I guess a lot of songs, but I thought it was unfinished, and I realized, no, it's done.
Okay.
And it's called Home.
Trevor DeCuir here with me on the Homegrown Radio Hour, live on Crescent Hill Radio.
Put a few ice cubes in my drink and keep the lights off for an hour after dusk. Gives me time to think about the words I've learned to adjust to my needs. But what I really need, I haven't said, but I never hate to. Floating they're on the edge of my meaning. Life is a river, and the river is coaxing me to merge with yours, and we'll go streaming down into hold hands until we die, and never have to come up for air as long as we can see the sky, because I trust you. Your skin is warm, oh, and your soul, it feels like home.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Original music. Another original. What's the story on that one?
I don't know. I think it was just me challenging myself to do something more than just chords. And I'm not the best guitar player in the world, and I know that, and that I'm okay with that. But it was just something to step outside of my box, really.
I really like it. Do you ever think about doing a record? I know you've got a lot of material.
I think about it, and then I think, oh gosh, I've got to go to work, and that's not the best attitude to have. But you know, I think it'll happen one day. There's apparently a lot of pressure on me to do so.
Apparently there is. And you're also working on a song for a new documentary that a friend of ours is putting together. You want to tell folks about that?
Sure. Sherry Wright is putting together a documentary called Tracking Fire, and she had done a Kickstarter that got fully funded, which is fantastic. A lot of people supported the project to make it happen, and you're still welcome to help fund that project, even though the Kickstarter is over. But it's a really important piece of work she's doing to tell the story of the Upstairs Lounge, which was a bar that was burned by arson on June 24th, 1973 in New Orleans. And 32 people perished in that fire. It was one of the largest attacks on the LGBT community in American history. And
and they kind of literally swept it under the rug.
Yeah, it was really sad the way the community responded. And I think we are in different times. We're making progress, but it's still an important story to tell, just so that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I think a lot of people take for granted the rights that we think we have right now, and how comfortable we've gotten in our own skin. It wasn't like that not long ago, and it's still illegal in some places to be homosexual. So
yep.
It's an important story that needs to be told, and I really appreciate her, making it happen, because it's about time the story got told. So shout out to you, Sherry Wright. And Mr. Nick Payne is listening out there in Colorado, and has given a shout out to you, Trev. And do you have anything you would like to say to Mr. Payne?
Quit drinking orange soda.
We love you, Nick. When you coming home, buddy? You got to come home and get on the show with me.
I think he might be coming to visit real soon. I'm not sure.
Good. I wonder if he'll be here for Patty.
Possibly. That might line up. I don't know. I don't know
Cool.
his timeline.
Nick, Patty, in October 15th, if you're listening.
Well, he's spoiled out there with Red Rocks.
That's true. You probably heard her plenty. Anyhow, we love you, buddy. So, Trevor, thank you so much. We do have time for another song, one more. And also, if you have shout-outs, anything you want to say, well...
Please come out and support all the finalists in the Made in 502 Creative Writing Contest. You get another chance to hear when that is, because I can't remember. I'm so bad with dates. My phone tells me everything. Anyway, Sean Pearson will tell you on Sunday.
Sunday on his show, yeah.
When that's going to be. But it'll be Tuesday, I think next week at 8 o'clock. But
at Diamonds.
Yeah, at Diamonds, and it's the one that's close to downtown.
Yeah,
so.
the one on Lexington.
The concert hall.
Yeah, not the one in St. Matthews.
Well, it's confusing because that other one is right at the other end of Lexington.
Yeah,
so.
No. What is that right there? Well, anyway, toward Broadway.
Right.
Close to East Broadway. So, Trevor, thank you so much for coming on with me.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it very much. And tell us about this last song you're going to do.
So this is a cover. This is the whole reason I learned how to play guitar was so I could play this song. And I've learned a lot of songs over the years, and many of them have fallen off the back of the wagon. You know, you put one in the front and something falls off the back. But this one has always stuck with me. And it's one of the best songs I know. It's by Ani DeFranco. It's called Overlap.
Right on. Trevor DeCuir on the Homegrown Radio Hour live on Crescent Hill Radio.
Search a profile for translation. Study the conversation like a man, because I know there is strength. The differences between us, and I know there is comfort. We overlap and come here. Stand in front of the light. Stand still so I can see your silhouette, and I hope you got all night, 'cause I'm not done looking at you yet. Each one of us wants a piece of the action. You can hear it in what we say, see it in what we do, and we negotiate with chaos. Some sense of satisfaction. You won't give it to me. Please give me a better view and come. Stand in front of the light. Stand still so I can see your silhouette, and I hope you got all night, 'cause I'm not done looking at you yet. my songs out of glass, so you could see me inside them. I suppose you could just leave the image of me in the background, I guess. Watch your own reflection superimposed, and I build each one of my days out of hope. Now give that hope your name. And I don't know you that well, it don't take much to tell either. You don't have the ball, you don't feel the same, and I want you come here, stand in front of the light, stand still so I can see your silhouette, and I hope you've got all night, 'cause I'm not done looking at you. I'm not done looking at you yet.
Yeah, thank you so much, Trevor. Thank you. What a great show. Thanks for listening. Trevor DeCuir is who you were listening to. And Trevor, let folks know again where people can hear you.
Come out to Church on the Rocks on Sunday nights at the Monkey Wrench. Sign up is at 7:30 if you want to perform, and 8 o'clock if you want to listen.
And you can pretty much bet your bottom dollar you'll be there.
Except this Sunday, I will not.
Uh-oh, not this Sunday.
I'll be down at the Iron Man. I can sing for you there if you bring me $1.
All right. Are you doing a street performing down there?
No, I work for Heine Brothers, and I'm going to be slinging some coffee.
Slinging coffee.
Yeah.
And then folks can check you out with Griffeytown at the Red, and that's going to be later on in the month of September.
Yeah, last week, sometime in there.
And we'll be posting that out on Facebook. Thank you so much for coming on. Mr. Trevor DeCuir here with me on the Homegrown Radio Hour. Thank you. I love you, buddy.
Thank you. Love you, too.
And Nick Payne, we love you, too. And here's something brand new in the Dropbox from the Whiskey Bent Valley Boys here for you on Crescent Hill Radio right now.